Hi, this is Adrian.
This is Lisa.
This is Ben.
This is Clive.
This is Chris, and you're listening to the Wood-Fired Oven Podcast with Mark Costa.
Chicken leek, ham hot pies, pork belly strips, sesame loaf, lasagna, wood-fired oven meatballs. Oh, we're so going to get into that later. I'm sitting across the table today with an incredible wood-fired oven home cook. If you're on Instagram or a member of my Wood-Fired Oven Chronicles Facebook group, you've probably come across today's guest in your feed. His bright red, and I mean bright red oven, is sitting majestically beside us here against the gorgeous lush green fields behind it. Today's guest has an obvious passion for his family heritage, food and cooking outdoors with fire in his stunning wood-fired oven. What an amazing place you have here. Chris Vozo, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks for having me on your show.
Well, thank you for letting me come to your house.
Oh, thanks for coming to my house.
You're very welcome.
Away.
Chris, you've got an impressive Instagram feed.
Oh, thanks.
Full of wood-fired oven food. Chris, tell the listeners where they can go to follow you on Instagram.
Il Forno Rosso.
Okay, and is it all one word?
Oh, yeah, it's Il_Rosso. Forno
_ Rosso. Is that right? No, hey,
Yeah.
you want to be sure you got it right.
That's
because
right.
people will go to it and click follow. And make sure you do follow Chris's feed. It's a staggering. Okay, you got it there on your phone?
Yeah, got it. So it's Il_Forno_Rosso.
Okay, and when you get there, you'll see that the icon is your big bright red oven.
Yeah.
All right, so you can't miss it.
That's it.
It's the brightest red oven on Instagram, I think. It's definitely go give Chris a follow. He is one of the most prolific wood-fired oven cooks I have ever come across. The variety of food you cook is staggering, and the volume of food, we'll get into that, the volume of food you cook is staggering too. The other day I came across your wood-fired oven meatball post.
Oh.
And see, that's my kind of food, like, gorgeous, saucy, slow-cooked food. So we're going to talk about that later, if you're happy. Is that all right?
Yes.
We can talk about that. Yep, that's great. I'm also sitting in front of an amazing platter of food. I wasn't expecting that. Thank you very much, Chris and your lovely wife, for putting that together.
Oh.
And you've cooked something. And, the oven's on, which is, I wasn't expecting that.
No, I can't have it off when you're here.
No. Well, it's gorgeous, and it's about 3 meters away from me, and I'm looking at a gorgeous platter. Now, you've cooked a couple of things, I think, on this platter.
Yeah.
Yeah. What have you cooked here?
So we got the steak there, the tomahawk.
Yeah, gorgeous.
And
you cooked that really well. Well done.
I was really worried. Mark's coming. It better be cooked well.
No, it tastes amazing. You did very well there. That's good. And what have you got in the? Is this a Cazuela pot that you got there?
Yeah, that's an little Italian pot.
That's gorgeous.
It's supposed to put beans in it, but anyway,
Oh.
it's just some camembert in there.
Yeah.
Cooked in the wood oven.
So I haven't done that before. Have you done cheese before in your oven?
Yeah, no, this is one of the things our family loves because you can get a cracker and just shove it in there and grab a whole heap of cheese out. And,
fantastic.
Put a bit
That's
of honey
great.
in it and garlic.
yeah.
Oh, man.
Have you tried making cheese?
No.
Cheese is good. I've made camembert. I've made brie. It's actually, in terms of a cheese to make, it's actually quite easy to make. It's fun. You should try that.
I will have to.
It's a bit easier just to go to Coles. Do you have Coles in this part of the world?
We do have Coles in Warwick, but down in town in Stanthorpe, we've got Woolies and Aldi and
Okay.
IGA. So.
Oh, you're spoiled down there. Well, the amount of food you cook is impressive. So definitely go check out Chris's Instagram feed. I'll leave details in the show notes as well. So we'll just set the scene for the listeners. All right. So I've just finished a 3-hour drive from Brisbane, and we're in the south of Queensland. We're very close to the New South Wales border, I think.
Yeah, the border's just over there.
Is it?
Yeah.
Like just over the fields
Just over the fields, yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're almost in New South Wales.
Yeah.
It turns out, according to Uncle Google, that this part of the world is about 2,700 feet above sea level. So it must get pretty cold here in winter?
Yeah, it gets cold. You basically just got to keep your jumper on all winter.
Do you?
Yeah. Unless you got heating inside, then you're fine.
Yeah. Okay.
So
we sort of wear T-shirts in winter up in the big smoke. Do you get up to Brisbane much?
Oh, we like to. Probably once a month. We'd probably get up there.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
But slowed down with COVID. And,
well, this is the first time I've driven this direction, and I was telling you just before we hit record on the show. So I'm from New Zealand, and I was brought up in Canterbury, which is in the South Island of New Zealand, and driving out over the hills, the Great Dividing Range.
Yeah.
It was really green. We had a lot of rain, haven't we?
Yeah.
But it reminded me of back home in NZ.
awesome.
So it was a beautiful, beautiful drive out. Really, it's stunning, isn't it?
I'm glad it was like that for you, because a couple of years ago, or even a year ago, it would have been brown.
Really?
From the drought.
Yeah. So with the floods that happened in Brisbane 6-7 weeks ago, did you get much rain out here itself?
We got a bit of rain.
Did you?
But obviously not as much as you guys had. Yeah.
It was horrendous, actually. I mean, serious flooding. Where we live, a portion of the suburb we live, 100 houses got lost under the floods.
That's horrible, eh?
It was horrible. And I remember that morning driving to the airport to go to work, and as we took off out of Brisbane Airport, in the right turn, looking out the window, and Brisbane literally looked like it was underwater. I've never seen anything like it in my life. It was scary stuff, you know.
It was crazy.
It was amazing. But anyway, on the bright side, you get lovely green, lush grass, which is, and this is just, oh my gosh, what a beautiful spot you got here.
I'm just glad the weather was great for you.
Yeah. Me too. I said to my wife yesterday as we were getting ready to come out, I said, oh man, it'd be just nice to see the countryside without bucket loads of rain. So no, we are pretty lucky here. Chris, for the listeners' benefit, we are sitting outside in your gorgeous patio area in front of your beautiful wood-fired oven. And it does look suspiciously familiar to me, your wood-fired oven. Tell the listeners what specific oven you've got.
Well, I've got the D105 from the Melbourne Fire Brick Company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why it's familiar, because it's exactly the same oven as mine.
That's right.
The main difference, though, to be fair, is yours is bright red and mine's like a whitish cream. So I think your colour's great. Tell me why you painted it red.
Oh, I don't know.
You tell me that, well, I'm going to have a piece of steak, all right?
I've always just liked red ovens. I don't know what it is. And probably because it's one of the colours of the Italian flag, I suppose.
Yeah. So your Instagram profile name, what does that translate to?
That's the red oven in Italian, yeah.
And there you go. But that steak is really good.
Oh, I mean,
and so if you could have smell-o-vision, smell-o podcasting.
Smell.
It smells fantastic and tastes amazing.
Yeah,
I'm just going to have to wait until I finish it.
I'm glad I cooked it well for you.
Okay, so the D105, yep, it's the same oven as mine. It's a fabulous kit from the Melbourne Fire Brick Company here in Australia. Ben, the owner of the Melbourne Fire Brick Company, came on the show a couple of weeks ago, and it was really great to sit down with him and have a chat with him as well. Tell me, Chris, a little bit about the decision-making process you went into about choosing the D105. Why did you choose this oven? There are other kits out there.
Yeah, well, it comes down to value at the end of the day, and how well built it was, and how well designed it was.
It's a good-looking oven, eh?
Oh, yeah. And I think they came out around 2008, the Fire Brick Company.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing the photos of these ovens when they first come out and going, oh, I really want one of those.
Yeah,
really
nice.
Just, I love the brick inside. I love how Ben's designed it. It's just, it's a talking point when people come over.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And I think too, because he does a pre-cast version and he does his precision cut brick ovens, which is what we've got. They're both beautiful ovens. For me, and I guess, look, sitting in your patio area here, looking into the mouth of the oven, it's not dissimilar to me at home. So I'll have to put the fire on, have a glass of wine, sit in my oven and enjoy the visual aspect of it as well. And that's a huge part of me and the value of the oven, I think, too. You can see the fire licking up the back of the bricks.
Yep.
And it does look amazing. It really does.
It's a focal point of the area. Yeah.
It sure is. How did you get this 1 ton kit all the way out here to this part of the world from Melbourne?
Well, they deliver it. So you buy the oven and you get it delivered. They deliver it right to your house, which I thought was that was one of the pluses, just come straight to your house.
Yeah.
And it's right there for you.
Yeah. I think it is. I was worried when I ordered mine that I'd have to go to a depot somewhere, get a trailer, put it on the trailer, bring it out home. But yeah, same as us. The truck driver delivered it right to the front door, and all I had to do was get my wheelbarrow and go brick by brick almost out to the backyard. But that was okay. So not everyone's got a wood-fired oven as big as the D105 in their backyard, nor does everybody enjoy cooking with fire. Where does that come from for you? Why have you got a wood-fired oven in your backyard? Is it your upbringing? Is it your other family members got one? Where does that come from?
Well, I think ever since I was a kid, like always a firebug, always at barbecues, poking sticks in the fire and running around and getting in trouble.
So you're allowed to play with fire as a kid, were you?
Well, I was until I got caught.
The same as me. I remembered I got in trouble. Anyway, not my story.
So that's where, as a kid, just always fascinated in fire. And once I figured out you can cook with it as well, seeing me family with barbecues.
So your parents had a barbecue?
Yeah, so Dad built one out of just clay bricks.
Yep.
And
nice. Old school.
Yeah, it's actually, there's a photo of that on my feed. The one that he built in the 90s.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Have to check it out. Yeah.
So if you want to have a look at it.
Yeah, nice one.
It's not a pizza oven, but it's like a backyard job.
Yeah.
But it looks really cool. It's got an arch.
Nice. That's great. Yeah, good stuff.
Used to cook on that all the time when I was a teenager, when I was allowed to start cooking.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So.
I think some of my earliest memories too are the old man with his fire barbecue out in the backyard, and or maybe going to scouts in the bonfire on the beach. Some great memories of playing with fire and doing stuff you shouldn't do with fire as a little boy. It's good. Yeah, it's good fun.
Yeah.
So, what's your heritage? You're an Australian, obviously.
Yeah. Yes, I was born here, and Dad was born in Italy, in Calabria.
Ah, down the south there.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. And Mum was born in Munich, in Germany.
Oh my gosh.
So,
okay, so you got Italian grandparents and you've got German grandparents.
Yeah.
Oh, you lucky.
I'm fully fired.
Yeah, you are, aren't you? Oh, you got fire, food, and heritage in your blood, Chris. You lucky thing. Yeah. So is that why we're seeing so much food come out of your oven?
I'd say so. Yeah. I just grew up with the food. Food was just everywhere. Like when I was a kid, when I could first ride push bike, I'd ride to Nonna's place.
So Nonna is
my dad's mum.
Which is your Italian grandmother?
Yep.
Okay.
So I'd ride over to her place.
Yep.
Then I'd ride over to my German grandparents' place and have dessert.
Really?
And then I'd ride home and have dinner.
Okay, so you were spoiled, right?
You're food-wise,
pretty spoiled. Yeah. What are some of your memories of some of the food that your respective grandparents, are they still with us?
No. Dad's side's passed away,
yep.
and the German side are all still kicking.
Okay,
so,
all right. So in terms of your Italian heritage, what are some of your memories of some of the foods that you remember as a kid?
Well, it's all the stuff Nonna cooks, like it's the spaghetti, the meatballs, the pizza.
And your German side?
Yeah, so German side, I always remember the sweets more.
Yep.
So the strudel, Oma would always make a strudel, and that was just to die for.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, just fresh strudel.
Fairly authentic.
Yeah, very good stuff.
Have you tried that in your D105?
I haven't. No, I have
Why
not?
Not?
Because you've just brought it up. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm expecting that next week in your Instagram feed.
Good idea.
I reckon something like that would work well, perhaps. Puff. Does it strudel? No, is that puff pastry?
Oh, it's sort of it's a thin pastry.
Is it?
Yeah. Sort of. It's a thin pastry that goes around the whole thing. So
okay, yeah.
But it's nice and crispy.
Okay, so it should work okay.
It should.
So
yeah.
There's no excuse then, right?
No.
Okay. All right, get on with some strudel. I really like strudel. I think you might have mentioned to me before we came on the show dumpling soup and things.
Oh yeah.
So that was from your German side too, right?
Dumpling soup. That was awesome.
Was it?
It's just your bread dumplings.
Yep.
But the soup was amazing. Like you don't normally like soup as a kid, but this soup. Everyone loved it.
Really? Yeah,
so,
great. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, never forget that one.
So both your grandparents, respectively, they came out to Australia?
Yeah.
So why did they come out? Why did they leave their homelands?
Just after a better life.
Yep.
So not much work left over there. So they come over here, found work.
So when roughly did they come out?
In the 60s.
Okay, so it was well after the war.
Yeah, after the war, yeah.
And they settled whereabouts in Australia?
So they started down south and worked their way up. So I never met Nonno, but he came over before the family came over.
That was your Italian
Dad's dad.
grandfather?
Yeah,
yep.
Italian.
Mm-hmm.
I never met him. But,
yep, sure.
He came over and started cane cutting to make money for the family to move over.
Right.
Yeah, so then the rest of the family were able to move over eventually.
Be fair to say that cooking was always a big part of your younger days, younger life with your grandparents and your dad, obviously.
Mainly with Nonna. We'd always cook together from as young as I can remember. We'd be cooking together.
Yeah.
So
you used to cook dinners together or family gatherings, did you?
Yeah, so we'd cook a big feed up and then Nonna would say, go ring your family and invite them over for tea.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's neat. Eh? That's really great. Did Nonna pass on recipes to you? Is there a tradition in your family to write recipes down or have family recipe books? Is that something that you've done?
That would have been awesome if we did that, but no.
So no, the answer's no. Okay.
But it's with Italian food, even 4 ingredients can make something beautiful. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I can remember most of what we did together. And
Neat.
later on, when I cook something, I'll know if I've forgotten something because it won't taste like hers. So,
Right. Okay. And I reckon smell. I might have mentioned this in season 1 somewhere, but the smell and food very evocative for triggering memories.
Yeah.
It's I did a episode on cooking beef cheeks in episode 1, and the smell of that and cooking in the red wine, it definitely reminded me of growing up in New Zealand with the dry, dusty dirt and things. And so it does the same. It has that sort of imagery pullback for you.
Definitely, yeah. You can tell when Nonna's cooking, really.
Yeah, it's neat, hey?
Yeah.
That's
it's nice.
Yeah, that's cool. So your family was pretty big growing up, yeah?
Yeah. So had both sides, except for Nonna, of course, but both grandparents and all the uncles and aunties on mum's side, and dad's side.
Have you had the opportunity to go back and visit their homelands?
Oh, I would have loved to, but no.
Yeah,
well,
no.
Especially Italy.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have gone over there
Yep.
to see where everyone was from. And but no, I haven't.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. We all have things that we didn't like eating as a kid. I remember my nana. She used to make us. She would turn up a little bit like the spread I'm looking at in front of me today. You'd turn up at my grandmother's house, and the table would seem to me as a 5-year-old be filled with cakes and biscuits and slices and things. And I have vivid memories of that. But one thing she did do, if she would come over and look after us and make our school lunches, she used to make honey and raisin sandwiches, which I thought were the most disgusting things on the planet. That and Brussels sprouts. I haven't ever got over my hate of Brussels sprouts.
I'm with you there.
Oh, really?
Oh, I don't like them.
Oh, good, because I was about to ask you, what do you remember as a kid that you didn't like being cooked for you? Brussels sprouts?
I'll tell you what, my dad, he was sick. Mum wasn't home. He cooked us up Brussels sprout.
Oh, that's horrendous.
Broccoli.
Yeah.
Just this green soup.
Yeah.
So he had the biggest smile on his face.
Sounds
Kids,
disgusting.
dinner.
Oh, yeah.
And we're like, oh no, Dad's smiling. This isn't going to be good.
So you haven't got over your hate of Brussels sprouts?
Not really.
No,
I
hate them.
We're just talking about this last night,
Really?
believe it or not.
Yeah.
A whole lot of us. And we're just like, nah, we can't eat them.
No.
Just horrible.
I reckon life's too short to don't eat bad. It's funny though. My sister, she used to hate them as well, and now she's, she eats them apparently, and much to my disgust. My mum keeps encouraging me to, oh no, you might like them as an adult. Well, I'm almost 50, and there's no way I'm going to waste. No. So okay. Well, actually, it's nice to meet somebody who still doesn't like those. Okay, so you're married. I've just met your lovely wife.
Yeah.
You've got three kids.
One on the way.
You got one on the way. I noticed that. That's exciting. When are you due? A couple of months away by the looks,
August. Yeah, end of August.
End of August?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, a bit of a surprise.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a nice surprise.
Nice
That's a nice
yeah.
surprise. It's great. Well, you certainly got lots of room here for the little ones to run around and chase snakes, apparently. I've heard about that.
Oh, have you? Yeah.
Well, yeah. I asked actually if I could expect to see any today. So being a Kiwi, we grew up with long grass everywhere and we never had to worry about walking in it.
Oh, yeah.
And so I've been in Australia 6 years. I think I've seen maybe 2 snakes.
Oh, okay.
So, but they said, well, you might. Oh, I better not, Chris. You did tell me during the week, though, and I'm very sorry to be a great disappointment to your kids because I understand that they thought Channel 7 was coming to visit you today.
Oh, that was funny.
What a gorgeous story that is.
I don't know where they got it from.
Certainly not TV crew. I wish, Connor. Sorry about that.
Even the principal believed it.
Is that right?
Yeah, so I got pulled up, but he came out to the car the other day and said, oh, so you're going to be on Channel 7. What time are you going to be on? I said, what are you talking about? He goes, oh, the kids have told me all about, your wood-fired oven thing. It's going on to be on the news. And I said, no.
I'm sorry, kids. Yeah, sorry, principal. What school do your kids go to?
It's Summit, the Summit State School. Summit State School.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, hello, Summit State School. And sorry to be a disappointment there. No TV crew today. How does having a larger family, larger young family, how does that influence what you cook in your wood-fired oven behind us?
Well, I suppose it's anything you cook in the wood oven tastes good. So
It does, right?
yeah,
Yeah, even if it's burnt. I'm
Yes.
like, yeah, fair
yeah,
share
you're
of
right.
it. Yeah, it's amazing.
So, so that's what really helps me is because I can just chuck something in there, and it might be veggies, and it'll come out tasting $1 million because
Not Brussels sprouts.
yeah, just not those.
No.
No. And the kids will eat them because
It's great.
They taste good.
Do they chip in? Are they allowed near your oven to
Oh
cook?
yeah, they love it. Yeah, and especially making pizzas. Gigi's she's the most excited one.
Is she the
little
smallest one? Little one, yeah.
Yep. And
She's 4.
Yeah.
She proudly told me she was 4 before. That's exciting. Yeah. Off to school soon. That's
yeah,
exciting.
next year she'll be off at
That's
school.
great. Yeah, good. So they get involved here. So we're sitting at this really long outdoor table, which is great. So I can just imagine this covered in flour and covered in pizza ingredients and toppings, and the kids getting stuck in. And
Yeah, well, during the cold months it's all inside.
Yeah.
But yeah, we try and do it outside as much as possible. It's pretty windy up here in the summit. So
Okay. Not today.
Yeah, not
There's
today.
no wind.
Picked a really good day to come
Oh,
out.
man, it's amazing.
Sometimes you sort of find yourself nearly falling over from the wind, but
Right, okay.
That's what I mean.
It's pretty breezy, eh?
we'll make it inside, then quickly run out and chuck it in and run back inside.
How do you find the wind, particularly when it gets up? You must have cooked out here when it's windy.
Oh, yeah.
How do you find the oven deals with the wind?
Well, fortunately, it's built in a position where the wind comes from the back.
Okay,
So,
that's handy.
yeah.
Good planning.
Yeah.
Chris? Okay, so it's not too much of a problem.
No, it's not. No.
Does it snow here?
It snowed in 2015.
Okay.
Um,
Were you here then?
No,
okay.
we've only been here 3 years.
Okay.
So, but yeah, no, just down there it snows. So
Okay.
we don't get it here.
No. What about other things that your kids get involved with your oven? Because not only having fire in your outdoor area, but having a wood-fired oven, which is it's a very safe cooking vessel, I think, for kids,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They've literally got to climb into it for it to be a problem, right? Yeah. And there's no way that can really happen. So it's very safe for kids, I think.
Yeah.
But have they been involved in other dishes, other things to cook?
Well, they can help with anything really.
Hmm.
Like Rocco, he likes helping out a fair. He likes helping me start the oven. A lot.
It's fun. That's the fun part. Yeah.
So he's always he goes and grabs a chair so he can reach and comes out and sets himself up.
Yeah,
And,
great.
he wants to light it, so he grabs he grabs the sticks and the paper and
Great.
start the fire and then I turn around, he's gone. So
And that's it. Job done. The rest is up to your dad. Yes. The hard work begins.
Yeah.
Lighting the fire is a lot of fun, though. Yeah,
It is, it's very exciting.
Yeah, it is. It's great.
Yeah.
Now, I saw a blower when I turned up.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Now, I use something similar.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that and how that helps you.
Well, that comes in real handy because especially when you're making pizza, I found that I can brush the floor with the copper brush, but it still leaves that annoying layer of dust there. So I'll just grab the blower and on low and just clear it away. Yeah, some people use a mop, but I don't like using a mop.
You don't like doing that?
No, but this works great. And
Yeah, that works well.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
never had a rock or anything.
I use a blower sometimes to help the light up process, just to
Yeah.
hurry things along. So you don't have neighbours anywhere for about 1,000 miles by the looks. I got neighbours about 4 meters away, and so I've got a bit of a process that seems to work. I use the top down lighting method. I light my fire at the top, and it works its way down, and I get a lot less smoke doing that. And after a time, I get a blower to help accelerate the logs at the bottom, and if I can get the oven up to temp as fast as I can, then I get virtually very little smoke anyway. But obviously for you here, that's not really a consideration.
So smoke's not really an issue, especially when everyone's got their wood heaters on during winter.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, no, that does help though. The blower's good for starting, especially when the wood's damp. Like if it's rained the night before and it's gotten wet, you just need that extra bit of oomph to get it on fire. It comes in handy.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, hello. I've got your gorgeous dog, your little puppy is attacking me. Aren't you? Hey? Aren't you? Oh, you're just gorgeous, aren't you? Okay, let's have a chat now about your D105 specifically and why you've got it located where it is. We've touched a little bit on about why you purchased the D105, and if any of the listeners are out there considering building a wood-fired oven, you really do have to consider the D105 in your mix. I think it's a gorgeous oven. Tell me a little bit about your thought processes around the location of your oven, its proximity to the house, the kitchen. You've got it here on a huge base as well. Tell us a bit about that process. Did you build the whole thing yourself?
So when we were building the house, I thought, we might as well get the builder to do the stand while he's here.
Yep.
Build it up with the bricks and
Handy.
core fillet and and then the concreters that were actually here, they were really handy. So they've done things like benches and stuff before. So they formed it all up and did it for me. So
how handy is that?
Oh yeah, and I was happy with it too.
Well, it looks amazing. So tell the listeners what you've done to the top of your base, because that is gorgeous shiny concrete you got going on there. That's really, really nice.
Yeah, well, it started off not so good. I got this stuff that peeled to start with.
So the clear coat
peeled?
peeled?
Yeah, it wasn't a very good product. And I was a bit upset about that because it's my area.
Yeah, I bet. I know. It's your domain.
Yeah. But then I was talking to Joel. He's a guy I know on Instagram.
Yeah.
And he said, "I'll try this Fortis stuff." And what was it, 419, I think it is. Fortis 419.
Yep.
And look at it. I couldn't be happier with it.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks really good. And it probably is pretty easy to clean up as well.
Yeah, it is. It's a shiny finish, so if anything
lovely.
spills on there, it's really easy to clean.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And you can do your pizza dough on there, and it's just like heaven.
Fantastic. Just designed for it. You've got a feature on the left of your oven as well. So you've got a sink and a tap there. That's genius, actually.
Oh, it just comes in handy. Yeah. Especially when you're cooking.
Well, you were telling me before the show started that you wash your dog in there. So it's not just for your cooking there, is it, Chris?
No, it comes in here for other stuff. Gigi's had a bath in there too.
Really?
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
It's outside.
Yeah, she'll be embarrassed about that one day, but it's all
probably.
right.
We wouldn't be good parents if we didn't embarrass them.
Oh, no, absolutely right. You have to embarrass your kids, especially the girls.
Yeah.
I don't have a sink or a tap right next to my oven. I wish I did. I think that's a great feature, actually. That would be really handy. Just even for things, just washing a tea towel or a cloth to wipe the landing down, or washing your hands. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's only consideration for people thinking about building.
Yeah, it's definitely a plus, because if you got tongs and you're cooking two things, I find I can just put a bit of water in the sink, chuck the tongs in there, wash them, and go into the other dish, without contaminating the other dish.
Yeah, it's great.
So, it's just handy. You don't have to walk inside. And
Yeah. I think it's great. In terms of your landing right out the front of the oven, I was having a look earlier. You've got about 4 tiles there.
Yeah.
Tell me about the thought process, about the design process around that.
Well, Julie and I, we just like rustic looking stuff. So we went to the tile shop in town, and they just had a chuck out bin with these ones on it.
Oh, they didn't. Did you pick them up, eh?
So we just got them for $5, and we used those as a landing. So
that's great. And they look great. They look really nice.
Oh, thanks. Yes.
So for the listeners, we'll probably throw up a picture of the front of the oven, but so they're white and black, and they're offset with the red paint that you chose as well, which I think looks really great. And actually, the red looks really nice against the black archway as well at the top. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It goes all right together.
Is it its first coat of paint, the red?
Yeah. There's only one coat on there. Actually, you just reminded me we've got to put another coat on it.
Yeah, and I need to do that with mine. So. It turns out that your oven and my oven had very similar birthdays or birth dates. They're about the same age.
Yeah.
And mine's definitely about ready for my neighbour, bless him, about 8 months ago was doing a bit of painting on his side of the fence with a spray gun. And
oh, no.
Yeah, you can see what happened there.
Oh, no.
And it was a grey paint, and I've got a white dome, right? So I got little spots, a little grey all over it.
Uh-oh.
He felt terrible. But it didn't matter. I said, no, it's just a coat of paint. I haven't done it yet. So now that I'm about to roar my oven back to life over the cooler season, I might kick it off with a fresh coat of paint. That'd be quite nice.
That would be nice.
Make it look new again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it. It's like having a new car.
Yeah, I know. It just doesn't smell of leather. It smells of wood. So you had the builders do the base of the oven.
Mm-hmm.
Was the plans under your oven, were they plans that you designed yourself, or were they plans that, I know Ben has put together a number of plan options, which I chose one of those for mine.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the design?
So I showed the builder Ben's plans.
Yeah.
And the builder worked from them.
Great.
So because I wanted a sink in mine. It changed a little bit so that you can see the differences in the widths there. So I wanted to sink so it's a little bit bigger on that side than that side.
Yep, gotcha. Yep, I see. Yep.
So yeah, a couple of little changes, but basically the same sort of lines of what Ben's designs are. Yeah, and I just made the benches a little bit wider.
Yep.
So I had a bit more room. Yeah.
Yeah. I think if I was doing mine again, I actually might put wings on my oven as well out to the sides. I don't really have too much space there. I've got a bigger, flatter landing area in my design than yours, but I've got nothing to the left and right of it. Okay. And I think I don't have the space for it. Probably, if I was doing it again in a house with a bigger backyard, I might have a bit more space left and right. And I think that's quite handy. I bring a small table around sometimes if I'm doing pizza or doing things that I have a lot of dishes for. But I think this works well for you, obviously.
Yeah. This because I did have a pizza oven before. Just a homemade one.
So are you calling this a pizza oven or is this a wood-fired oven? I'm not here to judge. While I eat another piece of cheese off this gorgeous plate.
Yes.
No.
It's a wood-fired oven.
It isn't. Actually, let's have a look. I've got the D105 brick oven overview and specifications from the Melbourne Fire Brick Company here. Uh-huh. It's not even a wood-fired oven according to this title. It's just a brick oven.
Well, there you go. So none of us are right then.
No, that's right. I mean, cooking with fire obviously is almost the perfect way to cook pizza.
Yeah.
And we were talking earlier that a brick oven like this, yes, it cooks pizza better than probably most other ovens out there. But it is definitely more than just a pizza oven, though, isn't it? I mean,
definitely.
I mean, what would be the ratio of you guys cooking pizza versus cooking everything else in your oven? I don't see heaps of pizza off your Instagram feed.
No, well, I just treat it as an oven. So the oven you see inside, that's basically that. So it's just a bonus that it does pizzas so well. So I do everything in there. Yeah.
So do you think pretty much anything that you can cook in an electric oven in your kitchen, you could cook with fire in this oven, right?
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, because especially with the retained heat, you don't have the fire blasting it. So with the retained heat, it's basically an oven. You just cook whatever in there, cake, bread.
We'll get to retain heat in a minute too. I reckon retain heat is an exceptional benefit of an oven like this that has very thick walls.
Yep.
So from memory, I could look in the spec sheet here, but I think that the thickness of the walls in totality, around about 30 centimetres thick. I mean, you've got the brick, you've got insulation products, you've got the outside render. It's a very thick insulated oven, right? This particular brand. Have you done any testing around how long you can cook with retained heat after you've closed, the fire down?
Yeah, so it goes to day 3 from firing. So day 2 still pretty hot. So chicken legs, for instance, good in that. Day 3, I'd probably do a slow cooked stew or anything roast. Slow cooked pork's nice on the 3rd day.
Is it what? Oh yeah, big pork fan.
But yeah, again, it depends on how hot you have it too. So day 2 is usually around the 250 mark.
Yeah, and that's a good sweet spot, I reckon.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. Yeah.
And day 3, you're looking at really slow cooking, so it gets down to 150 for me anyway. I don't know if this is everyone, but that's how my oven works for me. And yeah.
And it's very, very similar for me as well. I've got an episode coming up this season where I'm going to be using some Fireboard temperature controllers to graph and to map the heat decay over those 3 or 4 days.
Cool.
Something I picked up off Clive off season 1 when I chatted with him. I think it'd be very useful to know if you light your oven up with X amount of weight of wood on day 1, how many hours or what time the next day could I expect it to be at X temperature so I could cook this? Or I think that might be a useful episode to chat about.
Yeah.
But you can certainly do that by feel. And I think day 2 is one of my favourite days to cook in it, actually.
Yeah,
I love my
too.
slow cooked foods, right? So it's so good for it.
Oh, the flavours just have time to permeate.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
You seem to cook a lot in your wood-fired oven. And if I go by your Instagram profile, it's probably every day. How do you fit that in with your lifestyle? Why do you cook in your oven so much?
Oh, well, it's my circumstances, basically. So in 2013, I had a motorbike accident.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I was coming home from work at night and hit a cow on the road
Oh my gosh.
and broke all my ribs more than twice, every one of them. And
Really?
my wrists and hands. And
Oh dear.
then when I was lying there on the road, a car come down and didn't see me, saw the bike, went to miss the bike and ran over my pelvis.
So you're lucky to be here.
Yeah,
Wow.
I died a couple of times on the
Did you?
operating table.
Oh, you're a lucky boy.
Yeah, so it's good to be here.
Yeah, yeah. It's good to see you here. Wow. So that must have changed your life.
It did change my life, yeah. But like anything, look at the positives.
Yeah.
I get to do this a lot,
Yeah.
and I spend time with my family.
How good is that?
So yeah, like
Silver linings
Yeah.
and all that. Yeah. So it's become a real passion, a real hobby for you,
Definitely.
cooking in this oven, and it's a nice place to be.
Yeah.
For you. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is a good thing. It keeps my mind off things.
Great. Yeah.
Obviously, there's ongoing problems.
Sure.
So this helps me
Yeah.
get over that and
Yeah. Nice.
do something.
Yeah, I find it very cathartic. I think I think fire is an amazing thing to watch and reflect with, and I find it, for me, really relaxing.
Yeah.
It's a great way for me to end my week, and I can only imagine the healing properties of being able to cook in this beautiful environment for you in your recovery.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It's everything you just said.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. The D105, about 105 centimeters across the floor of the oven, right? So I'm looking in the oven now, and I know it's hot. You've got you've pushed your embers off to the left-hand side, which leaves an awful lot of space on the right-hand side of the oven to cook. Two questions come out of this. One, when you're placing your embers, are you left, right-handed? Is it on the left-hand side? Mine, I usually put mine on the right. My fire normally. Do you normally put it on the left-hand side?
Well, I've only just started doing that.
Yeah.
Mainly because I've got a short peel,
Okay.
and I'm just sick of getting burnt. Like,
Yeah, right.
So I thought, oh no, you know what? Because I used to put my coals at the back. That was how I used to do things.
Okay, back
Just-
center, is that?
Yeah, back center. Yeah. So that's where I always used to put all the coals. That's where I used to cook pizza. Just chuck all the fire at the back.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I'm just getting sick of getting burnt.
Yeah,
and
right.
Just
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put it off to the side now, and it seems to be working really well.
Yeah,
So
it works for you.
yeah,
So where I'm sitting here at your table, I can see the embers.
yeah,
And if they're on the right-hand side, I wouldn't see it. If it was at the back of your oven, I wouldn't see it. In my oven, my seat that I sit in with my glass of wine in the afternoon is actually more slightly towards the front of the oven. So I for probably no other reason, I put my fire right in the centre back so I can see it.
Oh, that's
And
a good
it's
reason.
really it's really nice to but I wonder for you. I mean, do you sit here with a drink once you've lit up, or you sit?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So maybe.
Yeah, I sit at the king side of the table.
Yeah.
and
that's a great view of that side of the oven.
And I just turn my chair a little bit and I have me drink up there, and
Yeah.
I can see the
Yeah.
fire straight in the oven.
And how happy days is that?
Oh, especially when it's cold, the heat comes all the way in.
Does it? What? Yeah. And I was going to ask you that because it's probably a similar distance, your oven to where I've got mine. And on a cold night, okay, it doesn't get this cold up in Stanthorpe here, almost 3,000 feet above sea level. That's pretty high, actually.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I can feel the heat. So it would warm this whole area, wouldn't it?
Yeah, if there's no wind, it's
Yeah.
perfect.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
If it's windy, it's annoying because
Yeah.
the heat's coming out of it and it's just going straight down there.
Ah, so you
But-
miss it. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
But no, you're right. Like in winter, it's really nice to just sit here if it's really calm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, just fantastic. Yeah. So this big 105 centimeter disc of space that we've got to play with, it's got hot zones right next to the fire, and it's got cooler zones. Is that something that you experiment with or play with when you cook your various foods?
Yeah. So I've just recently found my thermometer, the beam one.
Oh, the infrared thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had
Did
to
you
play
lose
with
it?
Yeah. Oh, don't get me started.
And all the kids hunting for your thermometer.
It doesn't matter what it is. Things just grow legs and
disappear.
disappear.
Oh.
Yeah, especially with Rocco because he's
Blame the kids. Yeah. I've spent my life blaming the kids. No, sorry, kids. Not really.
Yeah. But anyway, I just found it the other day, and Yeah, it was interesting because the middle was 300 degrees. I only had a little fire, and I was cooking some steak and stuff. And it differentiated about 50 degrees here and there.
Yeah.
So
It's a big difference, eh?
yeah.
But
So-
that gives you a lot of scope to play with, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think in a bigger wood fired oven like the D105 is.
Yeah, I was actually cooking bread in it the other day,
Oh.
and I put one in a bit too far,
Yep.
and it started getting a little bit too brown. So that's when I got the gun and I measured where it was cooler, and I put the next one in the cooler spot,
Yeah.
and it cooked perfectly.
That's great. See, I think that's an advantage of having a fairly large wood-fired oven.
Yep.
Now, I know a lot of folks can't fit it in their backyard. It's not appropriate for their circumstances. But would you recommend somebody, if they were thinking about doing something on this sort of scale, to get something big? Because you do have that flexibility, I think, with it.
Yeah, I think if you can, get the bigger one, because you won't be sorry. Like what if you do have a family gathering one day and you go, oh, I wish I had a bigger floor. If you can spend the extra, yeah, that'd be a recommended thing to do.
So you know Ben also does a D130. Have you
Yes.
seen that? now that's a beast.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe not that big. That's commercial. Big.
Yeah, I did consider it.
Did you? Well, see, it would look small in your backyard. It still looks small. It would. It would actually fit really well. I have to say, don't tell my wife. But I considered it for mine as well, my backyard. But it would look a bit odd in my backyard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's a good size though, eh? It looks nice.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't knock more room.
No, you can't.
Just-
It's just more wood to heat it up, I think.
That's
So-
true. Yeah, that was another factor. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
how much wood
The
you're gonna
fuel.
have to use. Yeah.
And this mid-size oven, I think, is a good size because it you can still light it up for a smaller cook.
Yep.
If there's even just a couple of you, our kids are about older than yours now, and they're not always around now. So, if my wife and I just want to do something small, it's still worth lighting it up just for the two of us, which is great. I think maybe the D130 might be a little bit too much, but you can. But that's a great thing about this thing is its flexibility. I think is great.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've got many years ahead of you with your little ones
Yeah.
enjoying this thing, and it's going to be absolutely perfect.
Oh,
it's great.
Yeah, I like how with the residual heat and everything, you're not using power.
No, it's great.
So
Yeah.
that's a big saving.
Yeah, it is.
Eventually, it'd pay itself off.
Yeah. Well, yeah, not there yet. But actually, but to be fair, I think it's a very cost-effective way of having safe fire in your backyard to cook with, and to have a vessel that is so efficient to cook with.
Yeah.
And safe. Like with little kids like yours, it's very safe.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Something has to drastically go wrong for something to happen.
Yeah, I
like
think
that.
the worst thing that's ever happened is a coal has just popped
Yeah.
and come to the doorway.
Yep.
That's the worst thing that's
about
ever
it, right?
happened.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely right. I've burned my fair share of food. Have you?
Oh, of course.
Apart from that loaf of bread, you've burned a few things.
It's a learning thing.
It's a rite of passage, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. This is the thing is you're going to make mistakes. The thing is how do you get up from it? You just get up and do it again and learn from it. Yeah.
Have your lovely family, have they complained about some of the dishes that you've made?
I think,
Mine have.
yeah.
Yeah, my girls will tell me straight out, yeah, not your best work, Dad.
Well, they're pretty truthful, kids?
They are, aren't they?
If you do stuff up, they'll tell you.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing because if you have visitors over, they'll go, "Oh, it's beautiful,"
Yeah,
and
that's
you go,
right.
and the kids are going, "That was crap."
Yeah, it's not-
you know.
It's not Dad's best work. Back onto this residual heat cooking. So what would be some of the favourite things that you do enjoy cooking like that? I mean, obviously it's baking bread. It's made for that sort of style.
Yes,
but,
yeah.
but what other things? What were some of your day two favourite foods to cook?
Okay, so sweets.
yeah,
I've
nice.
really tried to get into that because the kids like bickies and muffins and
Yeah.
things like that. So
good
day
idea.
two, sometimes it can be a little bit too hot still on day two. So I'll wait until the afternoon, maybe nighttime when it's down to 190, 180.
Yeah, that's a great temp
Yeah.
for baking those goodies. Yeah.
Yeah. So Julie and I, we'll make them at nighttime usually because that gives us the first pick.
Yeah. Have the kids gone to bed then?
Yeah.
That's great. So it's just the two of you baking, and that's quite romantic, actually.
Yeah,
It's
it is.
lovely.
Yeah, in the
it's
fire
How
and-
good is
yeah.
that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Julie does enjoy coming out here.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Did she take much convincing to put a bright red brick oven in your backyard?
I think she knew it was coming.
Yeah.
Because I was into this long before we built this, and I mean, she's got a house; she can have that.
Yeah.
And I'll have the pizza oven.
You can probably fit in your oven. I can almost totally fit in my oven. So that's your
true.
house. Yeah, it's your little red house there.
It's warm.
Yeah, it's just pretty warm. I remember when I was cleaning off the inside of the dome, I've got this photo of my legs sticking out of the oven, and I reckon if I worked hard, I could literally lie inside my oven, curl up like in the fetus position inside the oven. It's pretty big. Yeah, but baking, my wife's done some baking in it as well.
Yeah?
So what other things have you baked in it? So muffins,
muffins.
biscuits, cake. Have you tried cakes and those sorts of things?
Yeah, actually, the kids did a cake in there not long ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Did it come out
turned
good?
out good. I was surprised.
Really? It's great.
I ate some. That's how good it was.
That's great. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But I think that comes with an understanding of how the heat changes over time in your oven, right? Because you said you
Yeah.
couldn't do that with the flame in it, I guess.
It'd just burn on top.
Yeah.
So that's where the residual heat. Oh, so good with stuff like
amazing,
that. It's
isn't
just like an oven. You just instead
Yeah.
of chucking it inside, chuck it in there.
Yeah.
It does the same thing.
Yeah.
Probably better sometime.
Yeah.
Because the heat's so intense.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
it comes from all directions.
Nice and dry. And
Yeah.
it's a gorgeous heat.
Yeah.
Oh. So sweets, yeah, we haven't done an awful lot. Like I say, my wife's done muffins, and we've done a few other little bits and pieces. But I saw a post. You might have done a couple of them. Dessert pizzas. You've done some dessert. What were on top of your most recent dessert pizzas? Did the kids help with those?
Yeah. Oh, I think a lot of it is their order. You know, we want this and this and this. And the last one we did, it was the marshmallow one.
Yeah.
Marshmallow and mint base, choc mint base. And,
Yeah.
But we try
They
and
look good. They look really good.
Thanks. Yeah, the kids loved it, smashed it. It was the sugar-free mint base actually. So
Sugar-free mint.
yeah, sugar-free is from Panna. It's a company called Panna. They do
Okay.
sugar-free stuff.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we did that. And
The kids like that with no
yeah,
sugar.
yeah, because we try to not eat so much sugar.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't have any soft drink in the house.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Go sugar-free where you can, and
where we camp. I mean, there's marshmallows on it for goodness sake.
there's probably a bit of sugar in there to be fair.
But try and keep it down a little bit.
That's right. Yeah, but that's a great thing to do, though. I mean, dessert pizzas. I've done that a couple of times, and that's a really nice way to finish a meal, particularly if you haven't had pizza earlier and you do dessert pizza. That's actually really nice.
Yeah, I reckon it is. Yeah, it's a nice finisher.
Yeah, good for kids too.
Yeah, it gets them into it. Yeah.
I'm looking at an awful lot of gorgeous wood underneath your oven there, and that looks rather familiar to me as well. You've also got openings in your base on the left of the oven under your sink and on the right of the oven. And also I noticed on the other side of the oven looking back, you've got wood stacked in there as well.
Yep.
What sort of wood are you using?
It's iron bark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
It's a great wood, eh?
Oh.
I love it.
yeah, I can't go back to anything else. Yeah.
So my next question on my paper here is, have you used anything else? So you've just answered that.
Well, I have.
Yep.
And that's how I know that this is better because I have used red gum
Okay.
and it's good, and it gets really hot, but it soots up a bit more than this stuff.
Yeah, that's interesting because there was somebody on the Facebook group, and if you haven't, here's a good time for a plug on the Woodfired Oven Chronicles Facebook group. Come and join that. Somebody posted on there recently about the, I guess, the pros and cons or between ironbark and other hardwoods that you can find in Australia. And I've used red gum maybe once. And I definitely prefer ironbark. I mean, I really do. I think it's great. I hate chopping it. Do you chop it?
Oh, just to get little bits off to start the fire.
Okay.
But
It
nah,
becomes delivered on a trailer like this, does it?
yeah.
Perfect.
Well, he's got a tipper actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah, I
Is
remember.
this a local guy?
Yeah, local guy. Funny thing is, our wood supplier, he's an ex-wood-fired baker.
Oh, you're joking.
The first time he come here to deliver wood, he looks at the oven from a distance and goes, "Got a pizza oven, eh?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Is it a proper one?"
Oh,
I said, "Yeah, I think so." Yeah. He goes, "Oh, okay." I said, "Come and have a look at it." So he comes over and has a look at it, and he's playing with the door and looking.
oh yeah.
And then I said, "Oh, what do you think of it?" He goes, "Oh, this is well designed.
Oh,
This
really?
This is a good oven."
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. I have to tell Ben that.
Yeah.
That's good. Oh, he'd like that.
Yeah.
Is that right?
He goes, "Oh, usually the flues are in the wrong spot."
Okay. Yeah,
was
sure.
like, oh, right.
Oh, right. So have you got other tips off him if he's been baking in his own wood
Well-
oven historically?
He's always in a hurry.
Is it drop and go, next delivery?
Yeah, no, but he actually bought someone the next load. He bought someone to have a look at the oven. Yeah.
That's
Because
cool.
he's like, oh, this is the oven you need to get if you're getting an oven.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I thought, wow,
That's pretty cool.
We don't want Ben's head to get too big.
No, we don't.
But,
Okay, did you hear that, Ben?
his wife will have to be there with a pin. you know.
that's right.
But no, he has done an awesome job.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. And look, I think particularly in Queensland, my understanding is that ironbark is pretty easy to source. For me, up north of here and more Brisbane Central, it's aren't really too many other choices. But I have experimented with one or two other things. But yeah, I settled on the ironbark. I really, quite seriously, I dislike chopping it. And when I get this thing triple delivered cut, it's great.
Nice.
But I still get splinters from it, right? So, at night, I'm reaching down underneath, I open my doors. You haven't got doors on yours. I've got these doors I open up and I reach inside and grab wood and my hand as it goes in always. So I had the oven on. It was my daughter's birthday last weekend. We had 40 teens at our place.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my gosh. I was allowed to light the oven, but I wasn't allowed to cook in it, but no, we had other food that night. But she wanted the oven on, which was nice.
Oh.
But I've still got splinters. I've still got 3 splinters in my hand from the ironbark, and that for me, that's the only disadvantage of ironbark. 2 of them, really hard to chop, and 2, I get splinters. Do you get splinters yourself?
Oh, I do, yeah. Yeah, I've got scars everywhere from it.
Yeah, that's
But- And I look at my hand and go, oh, it's all for the cause.
Yeah, I know.
It's just like,
It's,
oh, well.
again, it's one of those rite of passages if you're going to cook like this. How often do you get deliveries? Every week, probably, by the amount of...
Well, I get 2 ton at once.
Yep.
It lasts me when I'm pumping wood inside as well, the wood eater. It's a month.
Is this?
Once a month?
Once a month?
Yeah.
I think I get about 3 deliveries a year, I think. Mind you, we're not using it for heating inside the house. What about smoking foods in your wood-fired oven? Have you tried using the smoke off the ironbark? It's actually a very nice smoking wood. It's a soft smoking wood, but have you tried some of that?
I haven't yet. After seeing the pork that Ben did,
Yep.
yeah, I want to do it one day.
Yep.
It's definitely on the list.
Yeah. For those who haven't seen that video, it is well worth a watch, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
So again, this is Ben from the Melbourne Fibre Company. Ben's done a really great job showing how you can slow smoke food in the wood-fired oven. In Ben's video, and I've tried it myself, the same technique, and it worked pretty good. I've got a couple of smokers at home. I've been cooking with my smokers longer than my wood-fired oven, so I'm a bit biased. If I'm smoking, I like to use my smokers. If I'm doing wood-fired oven, but it actually did a pretty good job of smoking. I think in Ben's video, he's using pellets in tubes, and that might be the most efficient way of getting smoke onto the food inside a wood-fired oven. I mean, the oven is designed to evacuate smoke as quick as it can, really. And typically, you get no smoke on your food in a wood-fired oven unless you're setting it up to smoke food, which is a bit different.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan personally of using pellets. Having smoked foods for so long, they can be a little bit bitter. I like using natural wood. It still came out amazing, and and if you don't have a smoker at home, you can absolutely 100% smoke amazing slow cooked foods in your wood-fired oven. So yeah, give it a go.
Yeah, I will be one day.
Yeah, it does look. It is fun to do, and it's something. It adds to that versatility, I think, of the oven as well. Let's talk about cookware. What sort of things do you like to cook your food in your wood-fired oven?
So my favourite thing is the cast iron pot. Pot and pan.
Yep.
Yeah,
They're great, aren't they?
Oh, the flavour. It changes the flavour.
That's 100%. Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah.
So how many pots have you got?
Oh, well, I've only got the one cast iron pot, and I've got one cast iron pan. But I mean, you can always do with more. But
Yeah, you can't. Yeah,
it's just
absolutely.
Yeah. Now that I know, I really like the ones from the look of the ones from Solid Techniques.
Yeah, lovely. I've got one on order actually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, on Kickstarter. I'm waiting for that to arrive. Yeah, they look nice. Quite pricey, but they look really nice.
Yeah, but it's like anything, you get what you pay for, eh?
And that's probably a lifetime purchase as well.
That's right.
I don't think that'll ever break.
Yeah.
And I think they're lighter. So similar
That's right.
characteristics to cast iron, but they're lighter.
That's
so
right.
there's probably some real advantages in having lighter cookware. I think.
That's right. Yeah, because that's what I find with the pan. If I'm cooking beans in it, I want to flip it, and I can't really.
Ah, no.
It's
so heavy. Yeah.
It's so heavy.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's one of the things.
So in terms of your pan, what sort of size do you find really
It's-
useful in your oven?
It's a 30 centimetre one.
Yep.
Which I find is perfect because I can cook 2 tomahawks in there.
He says, looking at this tomahawk in front of us, see that we're slowly devouring off mic. So it's almost all gone. But they're great though, aren't they? I mean, the cast iron, there's something quite magical about using cast iron. I'm a huge fan. Kes Whalers. I mean, this is a clay pot that you've got your camembert in.
Yeah.
which I'm just going to have some now.
Yeah.
So is this the only Keswela style dish that you've got? Have you done other things with them?
No, yeah, this is the only one we do have. That one's actually from Nonna.
Is this?
Yeah. Yeah, she got it in an Italian shop in Cairns once.
An Italian shop in Cairns,
In Cairns,
Australia.
yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Because
Who would have thought? Is that right?
yeah, so and they're really good up there. Like this shop that we used to go to. Oh, they had everything from Italy there. She gave it to us, and we've always used it for stuff like this.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I mean, dishes that get passed down, recipes that get passed down. I reckon that's cool.
Yeah.
I reckon that's really neat. Tell me about this dish that I'm about to eat.
Okay,
This looks
so-
amazing.
I think that should have garlic. Yeah, it's got
Yeah,
garlic.
I've got a
It's-
piece of garlic here.
So you get a big old wheel of camembert, shove it in your pot,
I'm eating it right now. Yeah.
and you put
Oh
some.
my gosh, that's amazing.
You like it?
Oh, I love it.
Oh, cool. You stab it with the knife. You shove garlic down it, and
Oh, wow, that's amazing. I've never had anything like that.
oh, there you
That's
go.
incredible.
You just pour honey around it till the honey comes up to the same level as the cheese,
Yep.
and cook it in the wood-fired oven, not real hot, and yeah, just
That was really, really nice with the honey and the garlic in it. I mean, that's a bit of a surprise to the palate. For me, that's
yeah,
nice. Wow.
It's a good flavour.
Man, that's really good.
So simple, eh?
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I like about it.
But it's simple things done well, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And that's what you get away with in a wood fire.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. I'm a big fan of the Keswelas. I think I might have mentioned that last season, but
yeah.
we went to Spain a couple of years ago before pre-COVID and came back with 20 Keswelas in my suitcase. I got this image of pulling. It was overweight, right? This is in Barcelona airport, and we got out of the taxi, and it was really heavy, and my suitcase plonked onto the ground. I could hear all the chinking inside this. One of the wheels on the suitcase snapped off. I could now see inside my suitcase, and we've now got, I don't know, what, an 18-hour flight ahead of us. This is terrible. Didn't care about the suitcase. I just cared about my $2 Keswelas inside. It was like we went to the $2 shop to get these Keswelas, and it was really great. But we had to go inside the airport and get the suitcase wrapped in that plasticky wrap stuff over and over. I was petrified of losing all these Keswelas. I love them. I think they're great, and they work really well with on the brick floor and the fire in the oven. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Marriage made in heaven to me.
Yeah.
That dish is amazing. I'm going to have to steal that idea off you, I think.
Yeah,
'cause
go for
that
it.
really is. Well, that's fantastic. What about other cooking tools? What about you've talked that you've got a short peel that you use?
I've had that for a while. Yeah.
Have you got coal scoops? Have you got hooks? Have you got anything else?
I don't have anything, eh? All I've got is a copper brush and a peel.
Yep, and that's it.
And a shovel.
That's it.
Yeah.
What about gloves? Do you wear?
Oh yeah, I do have. Yeah,
What sort of gloves do you wear?
I've got heat gloves. Yeah,
Yep.
the black
Like the welders
fire gloves.
sort of. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, something like that.
Yep.
I mean, I'd love to have one of those kits from Grand Forge Ridge. I think
They're
they're called.
nice, eh? Yeah, they look good.
Yeah, they look really nice, and I probably will get one day.
Yep.
You know, in a property like this, things come up like the driveway. We had to fix that. That costs a couple of grand.
Oh, it's expensive, isn't it?
Every time I want to buy something,
Yeah, absolutely.
something
Something goes wrong.
happens.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
So
that's right.
yeah, it'll happen one day.
Yeah. There's probably a blacksmith around this part of the world that could make you some stuff too.
Yeah.
I find the hook. I've got a couple of those tools, and I find the hook it's got a long wooden handle with a stainless steel hook right at the far end. I actually use that a lot with the Keswelas, so I use that little hook to grab onto the side of the Keswelas and push around inside the oven. I do find that quite helpful. And then my cast iron pot has little handle holds that are sort of hollow. That's the puppy. And using that hook to move things around, that's probably my favourite tool actually is my hook.
I think that just goes to show how versatile this style of cooking is. You don't have to be a millionaire to do it. You know, like
No, you don't. No, you really
you don't have to have all the tools or anything. You just work with what you got.
Yeah, you just need a lighter and some wood, and I mean literally because the floor of the oven is this refractory big brick tiles, and you can do a lot of stuff right onto the floor too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I've actually cooked steak right on the floor.
Have you?
Yeah.
How did that go?
Well, the flavour was good.
Was it?
Yeah, and
Did you get good enough crust on the steak?
yeah, it was great. And I didn't tell the family that I did it.
Yeah.
and just fed it to them, and they're like, "Oh, this is great." And I was like, "Oh, I cooked that on the floor." What?
That's a really good idea. I haven't done that, but because you could pour the coals onto that part of the floor, heat soak the floor, and then brush it away and throw your steak on it. That's a genius idea, actually. It's simple. Simple ideas done well there, Chris. It's a good idea. Disadvantages of having a wood fire oven in your backyard, and there are a couple. Would that come to mind for me? But what about for you? What have you come across?
Disadvantages have to be a big fat zero.
Big fat zero. You mentioned burning yourself.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. See, I class that in to, like that's my fault. Like,
That's silly Chris zone,
I want
is
to
it?
burnt myself, but because I'm cooking in the pizza oven, that's something that doesn't really worry me.
Yep.
But you can burn yourself, and if you got a short peel like mine and you're cooking pizza, you can get a bit hot.
For any listeners out there who are thinking of building any wood-fired oven in their backyard, what words of caution would you get? Because we've spoken about heaps of stuff already about all the great benefits, but are there any other words of cautions or things that they should at least consider?
Making mistakes.
Yep.
You got to make time for that.
Yeah.
So if you're planning to have visitors over and you haven't cooked something before,
That is good advice.
just make sure you've done it before.
Yes.
Before you have people over, because
Good
you're going to
advice.
find
Yep.
they'll come over and you'll burn something,
Yeah.
and then you look like an idiot because you don't know what you're doing.
Because it does take a while, I think. If you haven't cooked with fire before, you've got to learn a little bit how to tame the beast, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
right. Takes a while to get used to it.
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's right. I think when people come to your place for dinner, they're not expecting
No.
that you're turning up at some fancy
No.
restaurant.
No.
They're just coming to have a good time.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really matter if your food's average.
No.
Just don't burn it because
Yeah.
it tastes not good.
Yeah, exactly.
But that is good advice, though. And I remember somebody saying that to me with the smokers years ago. Don't present something for the first time to your guests that you haven't done before,
Yeah.
because your timings might be off and the food might not be quite right. But I think that's good advice. But it's an oven. You've got an oven in your kitchen.
Yeah.
So it's pretty hard to muck it up, though, isn't it?
It is once
You've got the heat down.
Yeah. It doesn't take long for you to sort of figure out what's too hot, and and the good thing about it is it's very forgiving. So
It is, isn't it?
yeah. So if you just start small, start with a small fire, not with a big raging one.
Yep.
Work your way up. If it's not hot enough, put more wood on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Simple as that.
Yeah, and it isn't particularly difficult to master either, I think. You
No.
know, you've got to give yourself time. I mean, fire is a bit of a beast to master, but
Yeah.
once you understand how it works, once you understand your temperature within your oven, it's not hard.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Other types of outdoor cooking that you have done or do today?
I don't mind cooking over the fire, so I've got a little. It's an old boiler, really.
I saw that on the backside of the oven. Yeah, is that what it is? Yeah.
There's a little copper bowl that sits in it, so you can boil your tomatoes and on tomato day and peel. It's easier to peel them when you boil them.
Yep.
Or you can, when you're plucking a chook,
Yep.
you can. It's easy to chuck the chook in there and then pluck it. It's like it's a big
okay.
cauldron sort of thing.
Yeah, right.
But I just whip that out and chuck a fire in it and chuck a grate over it.
Oh, fun
and
times.
use that as a barbie. Oh,
Yeah, that's
so good.
cool. Yeah, that's neat. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Cooking outdoors, whether you're cooking with fire or not, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back. If you're enjoying this episode, I'd like to invite you to head on over to Facebook and join my Wood-Fired Oven Chronicles Facebook group. Join hundreds and hundreds of wood-fired oven enthusiasts from all around the world as they share their favourite recipes, tips and techniques to supercharge all of our wood-fired oven cooking skills. Head on over to Instagram as well, Marks_wood-fired oven for more information on this podcast. Okay, back to the show. Have you taken any inspiration from any wood-fired oven books? Or cookbooks or recipe books, but particularly wood-fired oven based? Have you got anything?
This is my favourite book.
Is it?
Yeah. It's about pizza, but
Yeah.
he travels, this guy, he travels to where the food is to see that it's what he wants to use.
So that's a bit of a go-to book for you?
Yeah, I like to have a look at it. It is a pizza book. I mean, it's not like it's something I go to for cooking steak or something, because there's no steak in it. It's a book from Stefano Manfredi. I reckon this is the best pizza book that I've seen.
A recipe book or a technique book, a bit of both?
Both, yeah.
Is it?
So
Yeah.
it's all about how pizza is the world's favourite food, and goes to its origins and has different styles in it, like the Roman pizza. And
Oh, nice.
it talks about flour as well. So
Okay.
what types of flour is good for pizza. Mm-hmm. So that's what I really liked from it. And he actually uses a flour that we used to use in cans from Petra.
Okay.
I haven't seen it down here, so I use Caputo now. But
Okay. That seems a pretty popular flour in this part of the world. Yeah.
it's just so good.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't believe, I was using this other stuff and use a Caputo and just blows everything else out of the water, you know. But no, I'll pass that book over to you. You can have a look.
Oh, that's, even the colour looks like Makes me hungry. That looks great. New pizza. For the listeners, we'll leave this link in the show notes to this particular book. It's always great when I chat with people to get their favourite recipe books too, because, we tend to have our books that we keep going back to, right? And so, I haven't got a huge variety of cookbooks at home. I've got some, but it's really nice when you get a recommendation from someone to go have a look at something, and it fills you with new ideas. I'm looking at a page here with asparagus on pizza. Who would have thought?
That's right.
We should do crackle broccoli and asparagus.
Be careful you don't find one with the Brussels sprouts on it.
No, mate. All right, I'm closing the book, all right? We're going to go into a bit of a deep dive now about some of your social media posts, some of the recipes that you've done in your wood-fired oven. You did a post back in late March on wood-fired oven meatballs, and actually, your photography is pretty flash too there, Chris. It's pretty good.
Well, thanks.
This dish, I almost hopped in the car and came for a drive because it looked amazing. So you know the one I'm referring to. Was this all done from scratch? Did you do the whole? So can you tell us a little bit about the process for making this particular dish and what went into it?
Yeah, so it's beef and pork mince.
Yeah.
So kilo of beef and 800 grams of pork. Yep. That's just the size
almost
that was on the packet.
50-ish,
so,
almost. Yep.
Yeah. So not a great deal of thought has gone into it. It's just come together, and I've made it as I'm going along, sort of thing. So you rolled the meatballs? Did you put them into the cast iron pan first on their own to brown them off? Is that how you made this particular dish? Yeah. So after you boil them up, put as many as you can fit into the cast iron. I think I had 2 loads. So
looked like a pretty big feast, actually.
Yeah, it was decent. It lasted a while. We were having leftovers. It was nice. So first I did onions. So I fried up some onions in the wood oven and just until translucent. Once they were ready, just put them in a bowl, set them aside, put your balls in, fry them off till they're brown. Just turn them over and watch them carefully so they don't burn.
So you're getting them gently caramelised around the outside before you do the next step. Yep.
Make sure your fire's not raging. Yeah. Have a flame going, but not tremendous. As long as it sounds like it's cooking well, that's what I find gauges how I do the fire and how hot it is. So
you do a lot of your cooking by feel, yeah?
Yeah, it is by feel.
Because you've only recently found the thermometer that your kids probably stole.
That's right.
So a lot of it is by feel, yeah?
Yeah, it is, yeah. And I'm happy that I have lost the thermometer because, I can do it without it.
Which is good.
Yeah. It's trained me to do it without having to use it. So
you just burn yourself, don't you? Okay, so you've caramelised the meatballs, you've got your onions set aside. What was the next step in that process?
Yeah, so meatballs are done. So next step was putting the canned tomato in around the meatballs and then a bottle of passata as well and throw that in.
It's very Italian, this dish, isn't it?
So put that in the oven.
Yep.
And once it's bubbling, just move it to the coldest part of the oven. So it's just simmering and you'll see a nice little layer forming on the top of the juice. Yep. It's like a not burnt, but caramelized little layer that comes up.
I know what you mean.
Over the juice.
Yep.
So I just thought, they must be ready.
Yeah.
And they were.
And
so
they
it worked.
Yeah. Doing a dish like this, it's not a long-term commitment to make a dish like this. Kids would love this, wouldn't they?
Rocco's shoving the whole thing in his mouth. Like, seriously, you can't take him anywhere. Like,
next to your wood-fired oven, Chris, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 6 big boxes of herbs. And I was talking to your lovely kids before we came on here, and you've got rosemary. My favourites you've got in one box there. You've got rosemary and you've got thyme. I just love thyme. Mm-hmm. This picture has basil over the top.
Yeah.
Is that from Aldi or is that from? Oh, it's not.
Basil,
he's pointing to it. Oh no, it's not. I should have known better. Yeah.
Hey, it's not much basil. I'm not proud of myself.
Actually, it's not bad though.
Yeah.
Mine dies this time of year.
All right.
Maybe I don't know much about basil, right? Except it grows really well for about 8-9 months for me, and then when it gets cold, it seems to turn black and die.
Oh.
Does it die here?
Yeah. Because of the frost.
You got heaps of basil on there. Wow, it looks amazing.
Yeah, it's a good little bunch. It's only one plant though. A real Italian doesn't only have one. But
you got 5 acres here. You're going to be covered in it. That meatball recipe is one of my favourites in your feed over the last couple of months, or more than the last couple of months. Beautiful. It looked really, really nice. Another one that you did was a sesame loaf recently, and that you did that back in February. Do you remember cooking the sesame loaf? Not that long ago. Yeah, that came out looking amazing. It was like that's pro bread.
I wouldn't go that far.
Come on, but did it not taste good? I mean, it looked amazing. And look, I've actually got a printout of the photo. There it is there. That looks amazing. That is
Sometimes I surprise myself. Like it'll just turn out all right, you know. But no, it was a good one.
That's kid friendly too, right? I think you said in your post there that referencing your kids there. That does look really great. I mean, that looks really nice. You've mentioned already that you've done a few breads. Is that something that you want to sort of explore more with your oven? I mean,
it definitely is, because bread on its own is pretty expensive. And I don't like getting the $1 loaves from the shops because they're just pumped full of rubbish.
Yeah, they are. And you get $1 worth of value out of it.
That's right. Yeah. And we don't do that. But this is where baking bread at home is just like, oh my goodness. Yeah.
And it literally, an oven like this, nothing is better to make bread in. You know? It's amazing.
You're right. Yeah.
I remember talking to Clive about it. He hasn't done deep dives into bread on his YouTube channel, the Wood-Fired Oven Chef on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's something that there are a lot of people on YouTube and Instagram who do breads amazingly well. And it's a real art form as well as a bit of a science as well.
Yeah.
And it's something I haven't really gone down the rabbit hole myself yet, you know. But you're pretty keen to explore that.
Oh, yeah, because it's a staple. So it's something you want to nail. I have seen a couple of really good loaves online that people do in their pizza ovens. Like Joel, he's a chef.
I think I know the guy you're talking about. Yeah, I think I follow him too. Yeah.
Oh, he does some good stuff.
Yeah.
Those loaves of bread look awesome. He does sourdough too, which I'm jealous of because
that's a fair commitment to keep your own starter and things. I did the COVID starter. Did you do a COVID starter? I did, and it died.
I think mine's still in the fridge.
You did well. You're not feeding it. No, you killed it.
Yeah, I think it's dead, but I just don't want to look at it.
You can like freeze dry them or something though. You can.
Oh, can you?
You can put them in your freezer and then bring them out after a year and crack back into it. I think that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Saves me killing them all.
You know more than me.
No, not really. I'd like to nail bread too, but I'd like to nail sourdough. Pretty authentic way of making bread historically, and that would be pretty fun to do. But
the flavour's there. Like the flavour, you can't beat that flavour. The sourdough flavour.
It's different, hey? It is sour on the palate, and it's you have really good sourdough. You actually taste that.
Yeah.
You know? It's another one that I was really impressed by, and I'm sure the kids enjoyed it too. Was lasagna. You did a massive lasagna. You know what I'm talking about too. Back in February, and I'm looking at a picture of it here on your feed. That looks amazing.
It came out good. The cheese really, really good. It must have been a good temperature. And
do you remember what cheese you used? Because it does look good. You've got this beautiful spotted brown cooked cheese on the top of this thing. It looks amazing.
That's the Devondale and mozzarella.
Is it?
Yeah. It always does it.
It looks amazing. Did you make the pasta?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Good. We do that at home too. Fresh pasta with the kids. We've done that for years actually, and it's a nice easy thing to do with the kids too.
Yeah.
The difference between fresh pasta and store bought pasta, even if they call it fresh, is it chalk and cheese. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's got flavour to it, eh?
Oh, it does. Yeah, it really does. So that would have been a fun dish to make. You've posted it next to a roaring fire. Now, actually, the photo of your lasagna. You got the roaring fire in the background. Are you telling me that lasagna was cooked next to that size fire?
I cooked it at the doorway.
Did you?
Yeah.
You would have to.
It was too hot. It's way too hot, yeah.
You've got really big logs that you put in right at the back of your oven too. Like often see 4 massive logs at the back. There's no way food's going to survive that.
That's pizza night.
Yeah, that is correct. And it's retained heat cooking day 2 night the next day. When you do retain heat cooking, do you ever just light up a small little fire in the back just for the romance of it? I do. You don't need a little fire in the back, but it looks cool. Do you do that?
I have occasionally.
Yeah.
When I've needed that extra boost of heat and maybe melt some cheese or something. I like to get the most out of the oven. So on day 2, I generally like to have no fire because I'm not using any wood, and that saves money.
Is it expensive up here? Your 2 tons of wood ballpark is not too bad.
It's about $280 for 2 ton.
Wow,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
it's good. See if you deliver to Brisbane. That's pretty good. Okay, yeah, so it's pretty economic.
It's not too bad because it's just here.
Yeah.
So I don't have to go far.
Yeah, that lasagna looks amazing. Is that something you do often?
Oh, it is because it's a good family thing.
Yeah.
So you cook one of those up and you're set for 2 days.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes I'll make really large dishes, right, of food like this, and then we'll freeze it, you know, and we'll put it in vacuum bags. And it's like when I put the smoker on and do a couple of big pork shoulders in the smoker for 10 hours each, you know, and they get pulled into pulled pork and into the vacuum bags, and they get popped into the freezer for several months, and they come out and go into pasta sauces, and they go into wraps. And also, that's a great thing about a big vessel like your wood-fired oven. You can make big dishes.
Yeah.
You can split them up, you can freeze them, and for the next month you can have wonderful lunches and wonderful dinners. Yeah.
It's
versatile. It's great.
Yeah, you're right. It's great for that. There's some days there where you don't feel like cooking.
Yeah.
And you can go to the freezer heat it up in the inside oven, and you've got a wood-fired meal.
And how good is that? I started this interview, chicken leek ham hock pies. I love my pies. Oh my gosh. And these pies looked amazing. So stop the podcast now. Go to Instagram, check out this post it's around about mid-April 2022 if you're listening to this. They looked amazing. I could almost taste them. The pastry looked amazing. The pastry looked really amazing. Actually, tell me about the pastry, Chris.
Yeah, well, the base
Did you make it? Come on.
Julie made the base.
Julie made the base?
Yeah.
Yep. She did a great job with the base.
Oh, it was good.
Yeah.
It was very tasty and crunchy and what you want in a pie.
The top of those pies looked amazing too.
Yeah, the tops are amazing.
Yeah. So you made that too, did you?
No.
The truth. We squeeze that out of it.
Yeah, no, we just use the old Pampers, I think they're called.
Okay. Was that a no, not a phyllo pastry? Was it puff pastry? Yeah.
But we have made puff pastry before, and I have actually posted it a long time ago, and we did the tops as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, this time we just didn't have time to make the tops. So, but
that must have been a beautiful pie, though.
Oh, I couldn't stop eating them.
Yeah, I bet, mate. Yeah. You haven't got any left. I've done bigger pie. I haven't done lots of smaller pies. I reckon that's a great idea because you could fill one round meter of your oven with those pies, right? And you could sell them on the street out here. I reckon you'd have all the Stanthorpe lining up to buy pies. They do look amazing though.
That's a good idea, mate.
Yeah, I know.
You've given me a couple of good ideas today.
That's great. Yeah. Well, the kids, instead of a lemonade stand, they can have Dad's pie stand.
Hey, that's a good
idea.
idea.
Take them to school, sell them to school. They do look good though. Yeah, really, really nice.
Yeah, thanks.
Do you like steak and kidney? Do you like kidney? Did you have that as a kid growing up?
I had, yeah.
Did you like it?
I didn't really like. We'd have liver nights.
Yeah,
and they were just gross.
Really?
They cooked up with onions and
it's just amazing.
Yeah, I never. You
either do or you don't. I think.
Yeah,
with liver
it's just
and
a
offal.
medley taste. I didn't like the medley taste.
Yeah, it does have that, doesn't it? Yeah.
So I've never really continued that.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. That and Brussels sprouts. Yeah. We'll keep away.
Well, Dad used to chase me around the house with a cow tongue.
Oh, did he?
Oh, yeah. Come and get it.
Because they're massive.
Oh, they're huge.
They're huge.
Yeah, when you're a kid, they're even huger.
Would you cook one of those?
I think that's probably one of my favourite organs.
Really?
Because it's a bit like...
Well, I don't think I've eaten it. What does it taste like?
It's a bit like silverside or
is it?
A bit like... Well, I found it was a little bit like silverside.
Okay. So you slice the poor tongue up, do you? Is that how you cook it?
Yeah. I think he cooked it whole and then sliced it.
Okay. Yeah, right.
But, I mean, that was... Yeah, better than liver, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
Yeah, I didn't like the tripe or.
No. I think my grandparents were into tripe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just disgusting. The last food item I was going to talk about were tomahawks. Tomahawk steaks. So it's pretty much what we've been gorging my face on for the last hour while we've been chatting. I love cooking this sort of style of meat, the big T-bones and the big pieces of steak in there. I reckon they're just a marriage made in heaven. I think they are divine. You put seafood on top. You had tomahawks with prawn topper, which I thought was for those who like seafood. Not me, I don't like seafood. But for those who do, that looked amazing. That looks amazing. So you got a good local butcher around here that you...
These are from Stanthorpe Quality Meats.
Shout out to Stanthorpe Quality Meats because that is a gorgeous cut of meat.
What I like about these is I can put these in the cast iron pan because they're oven prepared, so I can fit two in there.
Other seafood? Have you cooked other seafood apart from prawns?
I have cooked. I haven't posted it yet. Should I say?
It's up to you. This is your show.
Well,
say it. Go on, say it.
Well, I've got 2 barras coming.
Have you?
Yeah.
Really?
So they'll be up. They'll be up next.
Oh, that's exciting.
And I'll tell you what, just haven't had fish like that in a long time.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not trying to say I'm good or anything. I'm just saying
but
that
you're quite good though.
Come on
now.
Come on. It just turned out really nice, and the fish was sweet.
And how did you go about cooking those?
Well, I just laid them out in the pan.
Yep.
After I scaled them, and we put some slits.
Yep.
In the fish, shove some lemon in those.
Oh yeah, that does sound nice. Yeah.
Shove them in the oven. Yeah. There's a little bit of oil on the bottom, and cooked them until they look cooked. And
and that was it.
Yeah, and then Julie made some awesome sauce. I don't know what she did. I think there's ginger in it, and
Oh, fantastic.
it was really nice. A little bit
That was
sweet.
sort of drizzled over
Yeah,
the top, was
drizzled
it?
over, yeah.
Oh, yeah, nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice. It does sound quite good. Yeah, if not being really a seafood kind of guy, that platter is anything to go by. I'm sure that was wonderful. Yeah, but again, hey, versatility. I don't think I've cooked any seafood. My wife, who I see floating inside the house now, she likes seafood. The kids kind of like seafood, but I think I'm to blame for probably not having much seafood over the years. Growing up in New Zealand, we were surrounded by seafood, and I think growing up as a kid, we were fed a lot of shellfish and a lot of seafood, and I don't think it ever. My sister loves it, but I don't know. Never really resonated with me. That's okay. That's all right.
Oh, well, we're all different, aren't we?
We are all different. We've come very close to the end of the episode, and what we're doing with my poor guests on the show is we've got these quick fire questions. All right. And there's no pressure. You're not supposed to think about these questions, okay? It's just like whatever comes out of that head. Clive did really well, though, so there's no pressure, okay?
He did well.
He didn't he? He did really well. So there's no pressure. Okay, are you ready for them, though?
I think so.
Okay. Question number 1. Quick fire questions on the Wood Fired Oven podcast. Chris Avozo, how would you describe yourself? This is quick fire, not slow fire. This is not slow fire questions, Chris.
You're right.
This is quick fire. How would you describe yourself?
This is too hard.
Mate, this is question 1, all right? I got 19 more. Okay.
Hey, Clive, can you tell me how you did this?
Clive. No, okay, how would you describe yourself? Well, you're very creative with cooking.
Oh,
obviously.
yeah. That's good.
But that's me describing you, mate. So how would you describe yourself?
I'm a bit creative, yeah.
Just a little bit more than a bit. What is your favourite thing about living in Queensland?
Being a Queenslander,
Yeah. What is the bravest thing you've ever done?
not wear a cup in the morning when the kids come and jump into bed.
Okay. Okay. The next question is, what's the stupidest thing you've ever done?
Can we make that one question?
Okay, so that's the same answer? Yeah. Okay. If you could change one thing about the planet, what would it be?
There's a lot of things, isn't there?
Less flies?
That'd be great.
Less flies in Queensland?
Less flies. That's a good one.
What's the most spontaneous thing you've ever done?
Saying yes to the podcast.
That might have been answer number 4, the stupidest thing you've ever done. So, you haven't heard the episode yet. Hey, if you could teach one subject at your kid's school, what would you go and teach?
Oh, I think it'd be cooking.
See?
Yeah.
See, that's what a great answer. What's your favourite beverage?
No, it's beer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's beer.
Yeah, I like beer too. What sort of beer do you like? Have you
I
got a favourite?
like an ale.
Do you like Guinness? I like Guinness.
I don't love Guinness.
Really?
I like it with certain things, like a pie.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
with a meal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Pie. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you order at drive-through?
Coffee.
Really? Coffee?
Yeah, coffee, because
yeah.
I don't really like the food.
What was the last thing you cooked in your wood-fired oven?
Yeah,
Was it this
tomahawk.
meeting?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
what
before.
happened?
It was actually just as you turned up. Like that was ready. You know, it just
Freaking
turned out
amazing, Chris. That was just that's genius. See, that was well planned. If you wrote an autobiography or a cookbook, in fact, what would you call it?
well. I'd have to be Alforno Rosso.
Of course,
With the
of
big oven on
course.
the front?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd buy a copy.
Oh, would you?
Yeah, I would.
Thanks,
I would.
Mark.
Maybe 2. Kittens or puppies?
Puppies.
Absolutely, because I'm looking at you, gorgeous puppy.
Kittens, you have to work for their affection.
Yeah. Puppy just gives it. Yeah. Does your puppy like food from your oven?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have to, right?
Yeah, it just stands there and watches me.
just waits.
Like a tennis coach.
And if you could switch lives with one person for a day, who would that be?
Oh, boy.
Past or present?
The one that actually came up with the pizza,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
That'd be cool.
That would be pretty cool. All right, what's your favourite restaurant?
I have a restaurant that I want to go to.
Yeah,
and
what's
that's
that?
Agnes in Brisbane. They're a wood-fired restaurant.
Whereabouts? In Brizzy, is it?
I don't know where it is. I just follow them on Instagram.
Okay, can you send me that? Because I'm
Yeah.
looking for wood-fired oven restaurants locally. Oh, that'd be good.
I don't know if they would. I think they're open.
Yeah,
pit,
open fire.
sort of.
Yeah.
But still, like, I'm
It's still using wood.
Yeah, and they do everything. Like they do the drinks with smoke in them, and
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
I'd love to go there.
Yeah, that sounds. Well, maybe we should go. Maybe we should go.
Yeah.
Come up to Brisbane. We'll go out for dinner. What's your favourite movie of all time?
Ace Ventura.
Oh, yeah, cool.
I can watch that every time.
Is that right?
And it'll be like the first time I'm watching it.
Oh, that's awesome. Who's your favourite superhero?
I really like Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's cool.
Yeah.
He'd be mine too. I remember Spider-Man as a kid. He was great. What is one place you want to visit?
Oh, I have to be Italy.
Yeah, whereabouts? Specifically?
Down in where the family's from,
Yeah.
down in Calabria.
That'd be lovely.
The area of Rocello, I think.
If you had one superpower, what would it be? And then I'll tell you what Clive's was. His was actually quite genius.
Was it?
Yeah, but I won't tell you until you've answered
Okay,
it.
okay.
What is one superpower?
maybe just click my fingers and the oven's on. I don't know.
Oh, so that'd be good. Or click your fingers, it's all clean.
Yeah, oh, that's a good one.
yeah, that'd be good.
one.
Clive's was the ability to go back in time and redo your dish again when you've mucked it up, something like that.
That is genius.
That is pretty good. Okay, what is one dish your family would agree was the worst you've made?
Oh, there's been a couple. Oh, yeah.
Did you make a peanut butter pizza?
Yeah, peanut butter. That one I posted. Yeah.
Since it didn't go down well?
No, it wasn't real good because I burnt the chocolate on it.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
okay.
And even like my kids, they'll eat anything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, here you go, kids, peanut butter and chocolate. They're like,
Did you disappoint your kids,
I
Chris?
did.
Oh. Last question. You're up to the last one. What is one thing you cannot do without?
I'll have to be my wife.
Chris, thank you so much for agreeing to host me here at your place in front of your gorgeous bright red brick D105 wood-fired oven. It's been a real pleasure to meet you and your lovely wife today, and to hear about your passion for wood-fired oven cooking and your obvious love for your family and your heritage. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you very much.
Oh, thanks very much for having me.
Mate, it's been really great. Just a reminder for the listeners to go check out Chris's Instagram profile at, see if I get this right, L_. il_Forno_Rosso. Give him a follow. What an amazing motivational foodie feed you've got. Chris, thanks so much for coming on the Wood-Fired Oven podcast. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
If you've enjoyed this episode, please make sure you follow the Wood-Fired Oven podcast in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favourite podcasting app. Please consider posting a review on Apple Podcasts, as this really helps the show. Don't forget to check out woodfiredoven.cooking for more tips, tricks, and advice on cooking with fire. You can also see full episode notes and links. Please head over and join my Facebook group, Wood-Fired Oven Chronicles, to discuss this episode and to see some behind-the-scenes info on my guests. Follow me on Instagram at marks_woodfiredoven and get in touch. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you in a couple of weeks for the next episode of the Wood-Fired Oven podcast.